Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. Can you learn French in 3 months? Can you go from novice to fluent? How can you go from being a beginner to being fluent in learning a language in just 3 months? Is it realistic? So before I started learning French, I watched many videos about people who learned French in just 3 months. I kind of doubted it, but at last I chose to believe because I know people have different abilities. Fast forward to when I started learning French properly, I discovered that it was impossible to go from a total novice to being fluent. Now, when I see such claims, I know it's mostly what scammers say. It's not a day job to go from A1 to A2, let alone become fluent in a language that's completely foreign to you. It takes time and so much work to learn the pronunciation, the numbers, the verbs, the adjectives, the rules, the exceptions, to read, to write, to speak, to listen and understand what the native speakers are saying. It's not an easy job. So if you're dedicated at least 1 year, it takes 1 year to be fluent, but not completely fluent to the point you can understand everything the native speakers of that language say. It's not easy at all. Like if you're even learning the language and you're in the class, you can understand the little things your teacher is saying. When you meet two teachers discussing in that language, you're totally lost. You cannot even understand one thing that they are saying. And you've been there for like 6 months. So I did a bit of French in secondary school plus some self-study, after which I took an A2 class, which lasted 6 weeks. Yet by the end of the A2 course, my classmates and I were in no way at A2. We understood many concepts as they were being taught, but we didn't fully master them. I can remember vividly trying to eavesdrop on our French tutors' conversation with each other, and I couldn't understand a thing. That was back then. In fact, all my classmates were in the same boat. We kept encouraging ourselves and saying we'll get there, which is why I actually recommend going to a class. So unless you have a background in the language you are trying to learn, it is impossible to learn it speedily while writing in it, understanding conversations, um, speaking, which in its natural flow sound very fast to foreigners. Like if you hear in language you're learning, if you hear it being spoken by its native speakers, you see that it's very fast. Even if it's English, I cannot speak English. When native speakers speak, you're like, God, you people are too fast. Even if it's Igbo, if it's also anything that just it's just too fast if you're a learner. Then if you're the type that picks up languages easily, of course, there are people like that. You should be able to attain a strong A2 level in 3 months. The hard part is going from that level to the higher. The hard part is going from A2 level to the intermediate level, like B1, B2, then to the advanced level, C1. The higher you go, the more difficult it becomes. The A1 and A2 is like piece of cake. When you get to B1, you start to see very difficult concepts, exceptions, rules. So you might be able to read and understand the language when it is spoken, but actively speaking the language is where the problem lies, and that is where I fall right now. I can understand, I can write, I can read, but actively speaking is because I'm not seeing people to really practice with. So you think the words are in your head until you open your mouth, then everything vanishes. It's never easy. So before you can say that you learned a new language, at least aim for B1, but it's not just a level you can attain in the class. You have to do a lot of self study in the class. You have to do a lot of self study. You have to watch films in that language you're trying to learn. You have to listen to the radio and look for its native speakers to converse with. You have to listen to podcasts. If you're on YouTube, you have to look for French videos. In fact, that is what I do with my time now. So maybe if you can do that, then you'll get there fast. But it's not possible to do all these things within 3 months. Even 6 months is like, as in, it's too much work. Where is the time? Unless if you even if you want to dedicate 6 hours a day, it's tiring as well. You get bored, you get tired because you have other things that you are also doing with your life. You're working, you have other things. So let's say, give or take 6 to 8 months, if you are fully immersed in that new language, like if you're living in that country when if you're living in that place where the language is being spoken, but there's no rush even if you're living among the speakers, unless you want to use that language to do something as fast as possible. So take for instance French, that has many rules and exceptions, including the things that you must learn by heart. They say you must learn this by heart. What about the things you will learn and forget? How do you recall those things? So you see, like it's not easy to learn it in 3 months. 3 months is just like we're joking, we're just playing around. So we've come to the end. Did you enjoy this video? If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to share it with other language enthusiasts like you. Have a nice day. Bye.